Hi, welcome to Worth the War. My name is Kimmy. This channel is here to help spare hearts. We're going to do that by preparing people to love well, and then how to identify and avoid abuse. We're at the grassroots level here on YouTube. I hope you'll join us and press the subscribe button and join on the journey. We're going to get an interactive community together here that will raise our collective voice for change, for healthy change in the love and relationship area. So I hope you'll join in. Today, we're going to talk about 6 ways that you can know the difference between what is real love and what is just a really great sexual relationship. And we'll dig into some statistics about how men and women react to these things, and hopefully it'll be something that you'll be able to use and share. So let's dig in. So we'll just look at a couple very small areas that research has kind of revealed about the way that men and women approach the hookup culture so that we can understand where we're coming from when it comes to sorting out what is love and what is just sex. I'll have down below the sites for the articles and studies that I used to get these facts, and feel free to dig deeper. There's an awful lot that you can get into. You can really go into the weeds and learn about some of these things. Feel free, if you learn anything, to pop on our comments and let us know so that we can share it with the community as well. So one of the things I thought was really interesting as I looked into the literature was that men and women really approach the hookup culture very differently. Men on average are 50% approval of their hookups. They think that those are good things. Women generally hovered more around 26% felt good. Women were more likely to experience shame or regret about a casual hookup, whereas men tended, honestly, just to regret the partner that they chose. So we are coming from very different places and mindsets on this. And that becomes important as we sort out the differences between what love and sex are to men and women. So the last thing we're going to look at is an article by Mary Elizabeth Dean. It's in the BetterHelp publication, which is a publication that counselors use in their counseling and how to approach different techniques. And what she found was that in the brain, we have an insular cortex. And in this place, we actually process both our sexual encounters and the way we process them and our love relationships. So it makes perfect sense that it would be confusing at times to separate these things out, which leaves us in a bad position to try to figure out what exactly is our connection to this person. Essentially what she explains is that it's confusing for our brain too, that it doesn't really know what to do with sex without connection. So this is really going to be useful as we, just for this video's sake, take some questions that help us to separate that out. So I came up with 6 questions that help us to kind of narrow down where is our connection to this person and how does it fit into the rest of our life. So here are 6 questions that you can ask yourself, or you can invite somebody in to help clear the fog of what it is that you're thinking about your relationship. This is a shorter version. I wrote an article that there's a longer version with a few more questions as well as some green flags for healthy developing relationships. I'll link that down below. The first question that you need to really ask yourself is, what kind of discussions do you have with this person? Can you wait to hear what they think about something? Do you like the way they think? Do you kind of look forward to hearing what they're thinking about their lives, or what they're thinking about political events or things that are going on? If you have no interest in what this person has to say, it's a pretty clear indicator that you're more interested in them for things that they do than things that they think or say. The second question that you can ask yourself is, if you had to take this person with you to a doctor's visit or for some area of your life that you would need support or comfort, would you feel comfortable with them? This is a really important question to ask because it really tells you what situation would you feel that you could trust them with. Is there something that you would say you absolutely couldn't take them to? Or you would wonder if it would change how they feel about you? Or you think maybe they don't have the capacity to be a support? These kinds of things are really important to think about because it's really easy to hook up with someone that you feel is great in a certain area, not just sexually, but in terms of being the life of the party or being someone who's really interesting to be around. But if it isn't someone you can actually be yourself with, then you're really dooming yourself to a very limited shelf life of a relationship. The third question that you can ask yourself is, how easy is it to come up with a list of activities you would like to do with this person outside of your intimate relationship? If it takes a struggle for you to think of things that you two could share, that would be fun just to be hanging out, or that you could actually enjoy doing nothing with that person, then that really tells you that the majority of your relationship is based on what happens in your intimate relationship, and there really isn't very much that transfers out. The fourth question is pretty straightforward. Make a list of the things that you respect about them. Not the things you find interesting, not the things that you think are fun, but what are some things that you look at their character, the way they treat people, the choices they make, the way they use their time, the way they spend their money, that you actually respect? Something that if everything else were to go south, you would be able to look at them and say, I think they're a really good person. If there really isn't a lot on that list, that's an indicator that there probably also isn't a lot that's going to transfer out into the real world out of that relationship. A great way to determine whether or not a relationship is going to transfer well out into the rest of your life is the fifth question. Think of 2 or 3 people that you really respect and ask yourself, is this a person I cannot wait for them to meet and for them to get to know who they really are? And our sixth and last question is, does this person respect your boundaries? Not just your physical boundaries, but your emotional ones, your energy boundaries. Do you feel that they are, and do you see evidence that they are respectful of who you are and what you need? A really healthy relationship that goes beyond just the physical boundaries is always going to have ties in wanting one another to flourish and for each other's well-being. If somebody tends toward wanting to set their own boundaries but not necessarily being great about respecting yours, that's a sign that they may very well also be there for their own physical needs versus their emotional ones. Because when you really care about someone, what they feel and what they ask for actually matters. So those are our 6 questions. I hope that if you go through them and you really think about them and you, like I said, maybe invite somebody else to help process through them, it should be able to clear any kind of confusion that you have as to what kind of relationship that you're really in and help you to identify before you get in any kind of relationship what it is that you're looking for. So that's 6 questions that you can ask yourself for clarity when it comes to whether you're in a physical, great sex relationship or in a full-on love relationship. I hope you found some value in it. I hope that you'll share it with someone that you think might be able to use it, and that you'll find that this community is going to be a place that you can come to, that you can learn things that will help you either change direction or learn a healthy way to love, and that we can make a difference in this culture. I look forward to seeing you again. It would be really awesome if you would leave in the comments anything that you thought about when it comes to hookup culture. Do you think that we need to look more into what hookup culture is doing in terms of how we approach love and relationship? If you think it is, I'd love it if you'd put some comments down there that I could interact with. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope that you stay well and take good care of yourself. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, welcome to Worth the War. My name is Vicki. I don't know why I'm here. Oh. We're going to do it by preparing people to love well and to avoid abuse.